What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. On today's edition of Gear God's Quality Control, we're going to be taking a look at the THBB10 Tim Henson signature guitar from Ibanez. The song that you just heard was The Dance of Bones. It's a single that I released last Halloween on the Trey Xavier guitar channel, which you can subscribe to at the link in the description. I completely re-recorded all of the guitar parts with the THBB10, and I think this one may have actually been more suited for that track than the guitar that I originally recorded it on, which had 2 humbuckers. I really like the sound of these single coil pickups. These are the DiMarzio Notorious set, and although in general I'm not super huge into single coil pickups, lately I've really been enjoying them for everything that isn't metal, basically. And Polyphia seems to really be headed more in the direction of this kind of low to mid gain sounds, and these kind of single coil pickups and this mini humbucker are perfect for that. Of course, they are Tim's signature pickups, so that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's pretty much everything I've ever wanted in a single coil pickup. That sounds awesome. It's like pretty thick, but also plenty glassy and not too noisy. Of course, we've got the 5-way switch. I noticed that Polyphia love to use the in-between setting on the pickup selector a lot, and that also sounds really good on this guitar. Little 10 cents of jazz for you. And then this mini humbucker is not very high output. It's mini, but gives you just enough of a different kind of flavor to get a lot of different cool, like I said, low to mid gain sounds out of this guitar. Could also do high gain. We're gonna check that out in a minute, but I think this is where it excels in this sort of stepdad level of gain, as my Uncle Ben Eller would say. Da, 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 da. Out of all the guitars that I've ever reviewed on this channel, this is the guitar that I've been able to give the most rigorous live testing to, because this is the model that I played in front of 22,000 people at the Rockin' 1000 event in Frankfurt, Germany, when I was there for the Hughes and Kettner event. So I got to play this guitar on 18 songs in front of a literal arena crowd. That was a really crazy week. I highly recommend you check that out. There's video, we'll put it in the card in the corner. You can click on that and watch it. Yeah, we fucking did it! I played this guitar for about 3 days straight under some pretty harrowing conditions, including outside in the sun, dust, weather, and then of course in the arena for both rehearsal and the performance. And it held up really super well. I really gave it hell. It was under circumstances which I was going pretty nuts, not really worrying about the safety of the instrument or whether or not it was gonna stay in tune. Actually, I honestly didn't really care that much if it stayed in tune, because I was playing guitar with 300 other guitar players, and that wasn't really an issue. But that being said, I think I probably only tuned it once during the entire concert of 18 songs. Aside from that, it held up really well, so that's impressive. I must admit, I was not sold on the AZ series from the word go, because, I don't know, maybe because I've owned so many pointy Ibanez guitars in the past that this sort of like round, more stratty headstock didn't immediately jump out at me as something that I liked. It has grown on me quite a bit, and of all the ones that I've played, which I think is most of them, this one's definitely my favorite. The gold and black look, although it's not my jam, is very, very classy. As Tim said when I interviewed him, it's something that you could play at a rock concert or at somebody's bar mitzvah and it would not look out of place, and I think that's true. The AZ series is kind of this, like, you know, something that for other guitars might be called a super strat, but the Ibanez super strat is the RG, so this is kind of like a soft super strat as far as I'm concerned. Rounded enough to not look super metal, but also pointier than a sort of really round strat kind of a look. This one also has a roasted maple neck and fretboard, which is something that I'm seeing a lot of lately. Once again, not super my jam, but people like it a lot, and supposedly it makes the wood a lot lighter, and in that case, I'm very much for it. This is from Ibanez's premium series, which means it's an import model. This one's made in Indonesia. It played pretty great right off the bat, needed a little bit of a setup. I was able to dial it in pretty good. This guitar retails brand new for about $1,500, which is kind of continuing in the theme that I've seen lately of Indonesian guitars at what used to be Korean guitar prices, but it also feels like a lot of guitars that I've played that were made in Korean factories like World Musical Instruments. So inflation sucks, but that's the way it is, and this guitar is, I would say, probably for sure worth that kind of money, especially if you're a great big Polyphia fan. Really, anybody can play this guitar. It's a Tim Henson signature, but it's not so out there that it couldn't be used for basically anything. We've got this Goto floating bridge. It's kind of like a Strat trim a little bit, but it's recessed so that you can still pull up. And it's non-locking, but you can still get some pretty extreme stuff out of it. Flutter's pretty good, which makes me happy because that's really the only thing I care about using a whammy bar for. All right, let's try a little bit of whammy bar abuse and see how the tuning holds up. So as you can see, a pretty stable bridge with a little bit better of a setup. I didn't like lube the nut or anything. It'll probably hold up a little bit better. It does have locking tuners, so if your nut is adequately lubed, you probably won't have any problems at all. All in all, the THBB10 is a super classy, but also really practical guitar with really versatile electronics that means it'll fit in at just about any gig that you can throw at it. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, mash that subscribe button, smack the bell, and drop us a like for more reviews and original content. And I'll see you real soon.